evening, and welcome to the Town Board meeting for the Town of Ossining for June 24th, 2014. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Jeffrey.
Present.
Councilman Harder.
Present.
Councilman Wilshire. Present. Councilman Blaha.
Present.
And Supervisor Donnelly.
Present.
That was a very deep present, Eric.
Present.
We have this evening a public hearing in the matter of local law number 2 of 2014 for the purpose of amending the multifamily provisions of the town zoning law.
David, please. Sure. Because you're all they have is a picture of is the back of your head.
Very good, very good. We have a local law tonight, as
Can you hear him good, Tom? Okay.
As Marion just said, which would amend the multifamily development provisions of the zoning law. Multifamily development is currently allowed in 3 zoning districts in the town: in the multifamily zone, in the multifamily-in zone, and in the general business zoning district. And in each district, the review and approval process consists of going to the planning board to secure a conditional use permit as well as site plan approval. This local law would change the review and approval processes in those 3 districts for multifamily development to just site plan approval. I should have said currently you go for a conditional use permit and site plan approval as well. And the local law would change things so that you would just go to the planning board for multifamily development for site plan approval.
David, can I just ask you, could you speak
Yes,
up?
sir. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that better?
It is better, yeah.
Okay, I'll try to speak louder as well.
Thank you.
Sure. In the general business zoning district, there are 2 ways to have multifamily development. One is just straight multifamily development, and the other is in a mixed-use development where there would be commercial below and apartments above. In the multifamily and multifamily in districts, one needs 40,000 square feet of land in order to apply for multifamily development, and in the general business zoning district, for mixed use, 20,000 square feet is needed, and for straight multifamily development, an acre of land is needed. And the provisions, the local law provisions, would change things so that you would only need 20,000 square feet in each case. The local law would not result in any increase in density, and it would be just as protective of the environment as the current provisions are. And that's it in a nutshell.
Very good. Are there any questions on the board? We have discussed this in length, and it is a verbiage, it's mostly a verbiage change because the densities don't really change.
Text change.
Text changed, and we are very pleased to get through this part of it. It does not change the fact that we are going to, and we've been lagging in this last month, but we're going to be doing a complete review of our comprehensive plan. It's just that in June it just seems like everything piles on top of everything in all cases. So we'll start arranging the meetings and setting up the agendas for a complete review of some of the recommendations that were never put in of the comprehensive plan, and also possible any other new things that might have come up since this is now 2014. The original comprehensive plan was made in 1992 with 1992?
2002.
Oh, sorry, 2002. Thank gosh, 10 more years later. And then some of the zoning changes were made in 2010. So this will allow us to present this to HUD and to the monitor so that we can move forward. And surprising as it is, we are on the short list that comes out every now and then of people that need to make some zoning changes, but as we have agreed with the HUD people that this is we can handle this, and we know that North State Road is one of those business districts, so, and it has transportation on it.
There's one other thing you may want to mention. We did receive a response back from the county planning department. Right. The local law had to be reviewed and referred to the county planning department, and the county planning department came back, liked very much what we were doing, and said this is strictly a matter for local determination.
Right. That is very true. So that we met with them, actually, David, Wayne, and I went and met with the county planning board, and we have the same, we've already given it to our local planning board, too, who see no problems with it either.
Right, they're going to be taking it up on Wednesday night.
Right.
And I'll be explaining it to them on Wednesday night, and hopefully they'll come back with a positive recommendation to the town board.
Great. So tonight is just the public hearing, if anyone's here to speak on that issue, and after we get the results of the planning board, and we listen to, and we open it up to see if anyone has any comments later, we will vote on it in 2 weeks if there is no issues with this.
Oh, okay. I didn't. So we would vote on it then, and then after that is when we would submit it to HUD.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't sure about that.
Madam Supervisor,
Yes.
can I just point out that it's my personal belief that the town had never been in a position that warranted being on the list in the first place.
Right.
So I want to make it clear that I don't agree that the reasons why the town was placed on this list are warranted. However, I think it's clear that Ossining has always shown to be cooperative and part of a team to try to get things done right, and I think this is part of that effort, but not as an acknowledgement that we did anything.
Oh, absolutely not. As a matter of fact, we had affordable housing regulations early on, and we, and we have followed all of the all of the rules and regulations. And if you really do look at it, the town of Ossining consists of the village of Briarcliff and the village of Ossining too. So this is just about the unincorporated area. But you're absolutely right. There is no. This was a very slight change in text, and it is not anything to say that we thought we were doing anything at all wrong or had any issues. No, not
Yeah.
enough.
Right, and as the town's professional planner, I wholeheartedly agree with that sentiment.
Right. Thank you, sir.
She
They're not
did.
here to speak.
Seeing anyone, may I have a motion to close this public hearing?
Motion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Well, thank you very much, and thank you. It's David Stolman you're always welcome to stay for the whole meeting. Yeah.
No, we have another seat for you too.
Yes. But I want to thank you. I want to thank you personally for doing all the work, and your team for doing a lot of the hard work on this, getting us all ready for us, meeting with us, and going over it, and giving your recommendations. And we're very pleased as we move forward, and we really look forward to working with you again. You work with the planning board, but working with us on the comprehensive plan, the review of the comprehensive plan. So thank you,
Have a
David.
good night.
Good night, David.
Good timing there, Wayne.
Yes, that was perfect.
Council.
Are there any announcements?
There are. I just want to speak for a second. There was an article in the Journal News about police services, and I just wanted to give our response as follows. I was somewhat surprised, and I'm sure the rest of my board members were, at the mayor of Ossining's assertion that the village had responded to any calls in the unincorporated area during the terms of a 4-year contract, and have asked for any and all call records to that effect. We do not believe there will be any. We actually know now that there are none, especially since we were made aware of each and every call and incident through phone calls, emails, and monthly reports from Westchester County. We have update meetings any time we request them. If he is implying that we do not have proper coverage, I do not understand how anyone who's not involved in the day-to-day activities in the unincorporated area can draw such a conclusion. We have had outside contracted services for 4 years and are pleased with the results, especially the ability to backfill the area with officers should any issue arise. We were also perplexed by the Briarcliff Manor village manager's assertion that the RFP is geared towards the county. The RFP is geared towards an innovative and structured police services that the residents and the commercial property owners of the unincorporated area of the town of Ossining have always had and deserve. And you can find a copy of the RFP on the web page as we speak. It is due Monday, June 30th, by 10 a.m. in the clerk's office. And we look forward to the two villages and the county responding to the RFP. I just repeated myself. On July 15th, we will hold one of our regularly scheduled town hall meetings, at which time all responders to the RFP will be invited to make a 10 to 15-minute presentation if they choose. The floor will be open to the public to ask any questions, and of course, we welcome comments from all residents and commercial property owners in Ossining, as well as our guests, but we are very interested in finding out from those who reside and work in the unincorporated and how they feel. We always welcome emails from those who cannot make it or simply feel more comfortable doing that. All emails will be shared with the board as we determine which of the RFPs best fits the needs of the people on the unincorporated area of Ossining. You can send the emails to sdonnelly, SDONNELLY, at townofossining.com. It's also on the webpage. You can call us, too, at 914-762-6001. So many exciting things are going on in Ossining. On July 3rd, there will be the big night, as it always is, with music and fireworks down by the river. Join us for bring a picnic, or there'll be food vendors there. Fantastic family night. Starting the next Friday, on July 11th, we will have music at the waterfront every Friday night. Come enjoy the new stage, the great sound system that was purchased with the support of some small business owners, as well as a contribution from the Teamsters. Again, we encourage everyone to either bring a picnic or purchase food from one of our vendors we will have down there. Watch for details on that, but of course Wobble will be there, because they're there no matter what. They're always reliable. The spray park is coming along. The floor turned out to be a little bit bigger of a project than we first anticipated. We are waiting for the last of the paint, and when it comes in the parks team, we ran out of paint because the ground was much more porous than we thought it was. When it comes in, the town team will put it down immediately, and within a few days, the spray park will open with a whole new floor on it. The John Travokas Playground and Spray Park at Lewis Angle Park will be closed completely on July 3rd, and it's good to remember that, as the park is prepared for the fireworks and music, and as well as a very large crowd. Please enjoy this weather with families and friends, and please be safe. Any other comments from the board?
Yeah, I just want to follow up on the initial issue. I'm very excited for our RFP. I think it's a great opportunity for us to have the conversation again, for everybody to have the conversation. For, of course, those in the unincorporated town is really where it is who is affected, and I think it's a great time for everybody to come out. And as the supervisor said, July 15th is going to be that town hall. I live in the south side of the unincorporated town of Ossining, and I have to say we don't have a whole lot of activity, and I do drive a lot late at night and during the day. I'm out quite often, and I do see our county police around. I have never seen the village of Ossining police within the borders. I do believe that all of us work really well together in terms of mutual aid, both our fires and our police, and that should be continued. It's wonderful. I don't know that it's happened, and as you said, it doesn't seem to have happened in this scenario. But I'm excited to see what we're going to do, what the services could be, what the numbers might be, and have a conversation.
Should be interesting. And just to point out one thing, it is very important that everyone understand that the Westchester County Police Department, because it has so many more like special units and stuff, is the second line and is a mutual aid for all communities, all municipalities in Westchester. They're the ones with the helicopters and the big SWAT teams and everything, should you ever, God forbid, ever need them. But it is important to realize that every single police department has a good relationship with Westchester County, and we know that will continue. And I've spoken to both the county police and the village police in the last couple of days, and everybody's very is fine with everything. So it was just a misstep of words. So
Is there anyone
Anybody
else?
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to public comments on any agenda items. Is there anyone that would like to comment on the savings agenda? Not seeing any. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby approves the June 10th, 2014 minutes of the regular meeting as presented. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Is this the meeting that Eric and I were not at?
Yes.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain?
Abstain?
Jeffrey and Blaha.
Is that your abstaining?
I will abstain. The according to Robert's Rules of Order, when you abstain, you don't have to say you abstain.
No.
You can just
Oh,
not
we're-
vote in favor.
Are we reading it?
But I abstain anyway.
That's
Okay.
okay, we have it written down, so.
Thank you.
It was done before this.
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby approves the voucher detail report dated June 24th, 2014, the amount of $548,764.10. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's quite high this week because we have a large bill in there from one of our major projects going on on Old Albany Post Road Dead End. It was a payment that was due.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby acknowledges that in accordance with Section 35 of the General Municipal Law, the 2013 audit of the Town of Ossining financial statements and supplementary information has been distributed to and received by the Town Board, and said report shall be filed with the Office of the Town Clerk. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Just if you did not get a chance to see our work session last week, our representative, Rob, came in and talked to us about the audit, and he was quite pleased with the results of the audit. We're doing quite well.
Can I just point out? I think he said that the finances of the town were quote unquote very strong,
Yes.
which I thought, and I think he used that. I don't think he uses that terminology often, or unless it's very well deserved. So I think the budget manager and the entire staff and everybody who participated in working hard on the finances of the town for the last year really deserve a great deal of credit.
Yep. It's the finances are watched every single day, and it's interesting to watch the whole thing fall together. But it was a very good thing. We dropped more than $1 million into the fund balances. Again, we've used some of that money, and I'll talk about that at the end of the meeting. But yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby acknowledges that in accordance with the Unified Court Systems Action Plan for Justice Courts, the 2013 audit of the Town of Ossining Justice Courts was conducted as required, and said audit has been distributed to excuse me, and reviewed by the Town Board of the Town of Ossining. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby rescinds the resolution appointing Ms. Antoinette Lasinovich Ossining to the PTA position of immediate clerk in the Office of the Receiver of Taxes, originally passed on June 10th, 2014. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby...
A part-timer. Sorry, just clarification up here.
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby reinstates the seasonal employment of Sylvester Foreman, Ossining, in the Parks Department as a laborer, as approved by the Town Board on April 22nd, 2014, and be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby rescinds the resolution terminating the seasonal employment of Sylvester Foreman, originally passed on June the 10th. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
There seemed to be a slight miscommunications inside the Parks Department.
And on the board too. About this,
You did?
I got no explanation. I rescinded.
I know.
I still don't know what's going on.
There was Mr. Just want to make sure I say his last name right. Foreman had a little issue and took care of it, so, and now we brought him back on. So we're good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby authorizes the following properties to be sold at public auction on August the 14th, 2014, pursuant to a judgment of foreclosure and sale has been entered into with New York State Supreme Court, Westchester County, New York. House and property at 94 State Street, tax ID 97.011-001-084, minimum bid $25,000. Vacant property at Priestley Street, lots 4 and 5, tax ID 97.015-002-004, minimum bid of $5,000. 10 building lots, 8-16 Thornton Hill, tax ID 89.008-001-049.004 to 013. Minimum bid $177,000. Do I have a motion?
Moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby authorizes the supervisor to enter into an agreement with, I guess it's Saks Best, to perform an audit of the finances of Adele Cemetery Management Corporation for year ending December 1st, 2013, in accordance with their letter of proposal dated June 18th, 2014. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Just an amendment, that should be December 31st, not December 1st.
Saks, it's just a, do we know who, I mean, this is just somebody you guys,
No, this is a major firm.
oh, it's a major
Yeah,
firm?
yeah.
It's not an acronym.
Yeah. Yeah, we
That's
tried.
really, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's really their name?
Even Mary Ann called me several times.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So amended, as amended.
Correspondence to be received and filed. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby accepts the following meeting minutes. Town Planning Board minutes dated May 20th, 2014. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That brings us, we have no monthly reports. That brings us to visitor recognition. Is there anyone who would like to address the board?
Fine.
Come to microphone and please provide your name and your residential address.
Hi, my name is Sabrina Albrecht. I live at 552 North State Road, Briarcliff Manor, New York. I am here tonight regarding a few issues that we are continuously having with the restaurant Terra Rustica on North State Road. They live basically right in front of us. Their address is 550 North State Road. And I know I've come to you guys before a couple times, and the problems don't stop. And now we have, in my opinion, more problems. And a couple of them that I pointed out, that I actually wrote down, is they've had their delivery trucks parking in front of our driveway and in front of our mailboxes. So when they get whatever deliveries they need for the restaurant, they're blocking our driveway, our mailboxes, and the small little company that's right next to us on 552, they too have also complained, saying you can't park here, but they continue to park there. We can't have UPS drivers or FedEx drivers come in. We've had the mailman say before, you know, I can't get to the mailbox if you're making a delivery. And they said that their reasoning for doing it was because they can't pull into the restaurant, which I understand, but why do they have to park in front of our property? There's plenty of space in front of theirs, but they don't, for whatever reason, they don't want the truck in front of their property. Unfortunately, that's not my problem. This is my property. I don't want a truck. I don't want to have to park on North State Road and ask somebody to move a truck in order for me to get into my driveway. We are also continuously still having problems with the garbage trucks picking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And it's usually every Thursday at 3 o'clock in the morning. We have power washing that still goes on every 3 months for their usual cleaning. The most recent one was 2 weeks ago, and we actually had a police officer come out. But once again, they said, we're allowed to do it. So the police officer left and came back the next day. So they continued on for a few minutes after the cop had left that night. And
Power washing at what time? I'm sorry.
11:30 at night. We are within 200 feet of the restaurant. We also have...
We've made sure every officer now has the noise ordinance, you know, so we have it, yeah.
I will say, I live in that area. I live not too far from you. And I do hear the garbage trucks at 3 in the morning. The garbage trucks so much as the banging of the bins, which is actually, I think, is the problem.
Probably. Well, we hear the backup lights.
Yeah,
and
the
it's
backup
like,
lights, I think they probably are allowed to pick up early for businesses. I don't know if there's a ordinance or a discussion
Well,
about
it's,
what time they
I
can.
know that they've spoken to them about the noise ordinance because we got an email notification that the officer went back there, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, is there a time that there's no issue? I mean, is there a time or a rule about when garbage trucks can come in for businesses? There is none, right?
It's a noise ordinance more than anything, and it's very similar to. We just have to check and make sure that they stay within that time frame.
it says, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's okay. In the village, there's a time.
That's what I'm.
I live in the village, and let me tell you when the garbage trucks.
I live in the village too, and I know that they don't come out at 3 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
I think,
Those guys,
I think maybe the
4.
I think maybe the problem is the sound ordinance doesn't apply the same way at 3 o'clock in the morning as it would at 9 o'clock in the morning. If you have
Right.
extreme quiet and X number of decibels,
Oh,
it
I
sounds
assure you that
louder.
the trucks are probably above the noise ordinance. Yeah, especially at that
But
time.
if at 9 o'clock in the morning you have all this ambient noise, which is
Right.
you don't really notice one truck, but when everybody's sound asleep
right.
and there's one truck doing all these things,
Well, I also think
pinpoint right
yeah,
in front of one house,
you can. And the other thing
huge
is
difference.
that backup, where the business is on North State Road, their driveways are very long.
Yeah.
So when they back up, it's not a beep, beep, beep. It's a beep, beep, beep for 5 minutes. So even if it isn't the banging of the bins, which I have called actually myself about that, it's a long, it's not.
Do you know who their their sanitation company is?
Unfortunately, I don't. Every time I've gone out, it's
Yeah.
just a red truck, a red garbage truck, and I cannot identify from, unless I actually go
No, but
around, which I really don't
we'll
want to do
also
at 3 o'clock
check
in the morning.
We'll also check. We'll go check and see what it is.
Okay. And
John has been out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead. We didn't mean to interrupt
Oh,
you.
no, it's
So
fine.
go ahead. You're talking about power washing late at night, garbage
power
trucks.
washing,
Mm-hmm.
the idling of cars in the parking lot when they are picking up or dropping somebody off, they continue for about 20 minutes with the idling of the cars. And the newest thing, which actually scares me, is I have dogs. And they are actually harassing the dogs now. They go to the fence at night when they close down, there's no lights on, and they bark at the dogs. Because if I take the dogs out for a walk at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, so they feel it's funny to bark at the dogs, make noises. They shine the headlights at them, so they'll turn on their car and have their high beams go through our living room window and my parents' bedroom window. They are also, if they're during the day and the dogs happen to be out and they see the dogs, they take the leaf blower directly to the fence and just hold it there and go back and forth for several minutes. Now, I understand that they're a restaurant and they need to maintain their property and keep things clean. We counted last weekend 6 times they used the leaf blower between Saturday and Sunday. And they weren't even using it on their pavement. They were using it at the fence. So what is the point of that? Just to get the dogs going? I'm actually afraid that I don't trust these people, that if they were to throw something over the fence, because it's not a landscaping company, it's the actual people that work there. They don't like, whether it's they don't like the dogs or they're afraid of the dogs, I'm not sure, but I don't appreciate that. I mean, there's a fence. The
There's a
dogs aren't
fence,
bothering
yeah,
them.
yeah.
I don't see the need for them to take a leaf blower to them. I don't see the reason for them to bark at them through the fence in the middle of the night. I mean, I'm not keeping the dogs out late at night, but when I take them out for an evening walk, I don't want to hear that. I mean, they're scared as themselves. That's why they're barking at them. So that's a constant issue. And as far as since we're on the topic of their fence, they're not taking care. I don't know if you've ever been to the restaurant, but the back portion of it is all like a green mesh material, and it has these green slats. And they're supposed to maintain their property. It is their fence, and they're not. So you have all these big gaps, and I have to keep shoving these big green slats back through the fence, and it leaves all these open holes. So when they do leaf blow, we have a bunch of, excuse my language, but certain material that comes underneath the fence, garbage, everything else, which I don't understand why they have to do that. Shouldn't they maintain their part of the fence as well? And we also wanted to talk about the decibel levels. Last time we met, there was a discussion as far as noise, and they've been doing construction or they've been doing work as soon as they close at night. They have their cars parked in the back, they're working on the fence, or they have a small shed in the back. We hear power tools going at 10:30 at night when they're closed down, and then they shut off all their lights, and they do it in the middle of the dark. And this is where I'm a little confused with the decibel description, because when I was reading in the noise ordinance thing, it says 65 decibels. We've called the cops before, and they have said the Westchester County does not have decibel meters, that they have to, in fact, be trained to have a decibel meter. So if this is a noise...
If it's 11 o'clock at night and they're using power tools, does that happen regularly? Or
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I would say almost once or twice a week that it happens.
Yes.
And the cops have actually said that they don't have decibel meters, so there's no way for them to measure.
How's that even possible?
They said they had them once before, but they haven't had them for years since they switched over to Westchester County altogether as a group,
But that
however
makes
that
no
is.
sense. Yeah.
So
Well, we'll continue. I know we've, and did Lieutenant Alongi call you? And did one of the lieutenants call you or anything?
yes.
Yes. Okay.
So
I know that they're working on it too, so.
Okay. And they have a couple spotlights that are also now shining into our windows.
From the parking, for the
From their
parking lot?
They're angled up, directly up. They're not down facing the cars. And I feel like, maybe I'm misreading this a little bit, but ever since more activity has started, I feel like they just keep pushing it more and more. And they're doing little things that might not seem like much to everybody else, but I've been dealing with this for like 3 years now. And I'm just so tired of it. We're not trying to get them kicked out. I understand a lot of people go there, a lot of people enjoy the restaurant, but you need to work with us as neighbors. And I feel like they absolutely disregard. They don't care to work with us as neighbors. I've discussed it with all of our surrounding neighbors. They find trash, they find beer cans, they find everything all over the fence on their property because they think whether it's a strip of woods that nobody's going to go back there.
Right.
But it's completely discourteous, and they just are not willing to work with us. And apparently, from what I was told when they were issued the last ticket, they laughed about it and thought it was a joke. So obviously, they don't care
Okay, so
about the situation.
I think we'll move it up. We're trying to let the police and John Hamilton work on it, but I think we're going to have to go pay a visit.
Did you indicate that a summons had already been?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I have a copy of it if you would like. I wasn't sure if you had it or not, so.
No,
Okay.
So when the police are, when was the last time you called the officers?
Last time was last week.
Okay. And so when the officers are showing up, what are they hearing the noise? Is it happening, or by the time they get there, it's not
It
happening?
depends on the situation. The last time, the officer was actually there and heard the power washing going on.
Okay.
But the time before that, because the cop was a Yonkers cop or something and came from Yonkers, by the time he got there, they were just sitting in their cars. They were done with whatever it was they were doing. So there was no proof that, okay, they're just sitting in their cars, but they weren't using the power tools. They didn't hear it. They didn't see it.
So when the officer who showed up and heard the
Power washing.
noise, what happened at that point?
He came back over to our property, and he was not aware of the noise ordinance. And even though I had told him that we had a discussion the last meeting, he said that there was nothing he could do about it. So I was a little mad, but then I found out the next day, because he came back over, he said that he looked into it and was able to find out that after Supervisor Donnelly had said, I believe you said something to him or somebody else, but they were issued a summons after that.
Well, the
Okay, so it was out of that. Okay.
the officer came from Yonkers?
Yes. It took him about 25 minutes before he got there.
Could have been finished.
I don't know. I don't have an answer for you, because I wondered too why it took so long. But
We'll
coming from
check into
Yonkers.
that, though. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, when the
Do you want to just come to the mic so that, yeah.
when the police come, they come, it takes them a while before they come.
Right.
So these people know it. They're aware that, probably they're going to get the phone call, whatever. They don't care. They really do not care. When the police come, they shut it off. They do work in the dark. How can you work in the dark
Right.
and think that we're not going to hear it? Okay? This noise ordinance, really something has got to be done, because it's on holidays. Memorial weekend, they put flags out on the restaurant to show that they're, good patriotic people. I have somebody serving my son. One day, they can't even stop blowing. They blew 3 times that day on Memorial Weekend.
And construction. They had
And construction, they were doing fence work, banging, banging, banging. I mean, really, this has really got to stop. And we're coming to you to ask you guys to do something. And I don't know what can be done. The noise ordinance, the cops don't carry anything. Every time they come, they say they don't have anything. So what are we supposed to do? How much noise, loud noise, does the blower take? I'm sure it's a lot louder than what the decimal points say it's supposed to be.
A power mower has 107 decibels. A hand drill is 98 decibels. So I'm a little confused with the 65 if a leaf blower is definitely louder than a hand drill.
You know, I understand their restaurant. They do it once, fine. But not 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And holidays? Really? I mean, we don't know what else to do, and it's getting to the point they're almost doing it. They are doing it every day, and they're doing something to,
Fight us.
yeah,
it feels like.
basically.
Because last time we really spoke, it was that, they were doing their quarterly cleaning, right? And that was, driving you,
Even if you do your quarterly cleaning, how could you clean a roof
right.
that late?
11:30 at night.
And at night, in the dark.
Okay. We'll take it up with John Hamilton again and the police department again. I know that we made sure everybody has the noise ordinance in their cars with them, and we'll see where we can go with that, okay? So we'll be in touch.
All right, great.
We have your number.
Okay.
Thank you for coming.
Thank
and,
you for
and
coming.
sharing with us
Yes.
what's going on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I have a motion to adjourn into executive session for legal advice?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So we just want to finish off this meeting tonight with some news that the police station at 507 North State Road, which was sold, and we made $1.475 million on it, and we took another $235,000 out of our fund balance, our residual fund balance of the $1 million that we dropped to the bottom line. So we paid off every bond that we could last Friday during the callable bonds. And if you look on the webpage or if you get our supervisor's update, we gave you a summary, a quick, it moved you into the thing, right?
Every callable bond on this property.
Just on
Yeah, 'cause you
507
said
North
every
State. Yeah,
callable bond,
yeah.
and I don't-
Every callable bond that pertained to 507 North State Road. So we're very pleased with that. It was a lot of work done by a lot of people to get that done, and we're very pleased with that. So with that, we want everyone to have a good weekend. We'll work with you on your issues, and then we'll see you next Tuesday. We'll be at the village, the municipal building, the Village Town Municipal Building at 16 Croton Avenue for a regular work session, and it will be, believe it or not, July 1st. So we have gone through a half of 2014 already,
Wow.
which is pretty amazing. Have a wonderful night. Thank you very
Good night.
much.